Hello students, I welcome you all to Current Affair Lectures by Azad ICS Academy, and today we are going to look into the current affairs of 31st March, and that's going to be the last day of this particular month, and we have already covered 3 months, right, of current affairs, and this is also the last day, and this is the end of this financial year, and from tomorrow onwards we're going to have the first, that is the financial year or the first day of the financial year, right? So now let us see what are the topics that we're going to cover today. Before that, we will see the answers for yesterday's questions. So we had discussed about why did the tribunal put a file or put a kind of fine on Google Play Store. Is that because it was allowing or it was mandating the use of Google Play billing system for in-app purchases. So I already told you that if you want to purchase anything from that particular app, you will have to use the Google Play billing system itself. And it was not allowing any other systems. Okay. Apart from this, which system it did not allow or which was restricted was UPI based system or UPI based payment system was not allowed by the Google. Google did not allow any other UPI systems to, do it. So hence, see, credit transaction comes in card, NEFT and RTGS comes under internet banking, but these were allowed. Which was not allowed was UPI based system. So other UPI systems were not allowed, and hence this is the right answer, right? So let us see what are the topics that we have for today. Okay. So the topic that we have for today is what is the controversy between Bodh Gaya temple? See, now this becomes a very, very important topic when it comes to art and culture, right? And especially when it is Jainism and Buddhism, your UPSC has a lot of favorite topics, especially Jainism and Buddhism are some topics which are very, very favorite for UPSC. They keep on asking you such kind of questions. So hence, if this is a news, then there is a possibility that this question may come into picture. Beginning of February, nearly 100 Buddhist monks under All India Buddhist Forum. So there is All India Buddhist Forum. Under this forum, they have been protesting. First at Bodh Gaya, Mahabodhi temple in Mahanir, or it is also called as Mahanirvana, and later in the little town, demanding for repealing a Bodh Gaya Temple Act. So there is a Bodh Gaya Temple Act. We'll discuss what is this, don't worry, of 1949. And this particular All India Buddhist Forum has supported from prominent Buddhist bodies and have submitted memorandum to Bihar government. The Bodh Gaya is one of the four sacred sites of Buddhism. So Bodh Gaya temple is one of the four important sites. Now, what are the four important sites? Please remember this. This can also come in the match the following or following pairs, etc. So the other three are, the first one is the Bodh Gaya temple, okay, and the other three being the birthplace of Buddha, that is Lumbini, Saranath, where he gave his first ceremony, and Kusha Nagar, where he attended his Parinirvana. So these are the other three places along with this Bodh Gaya temple, right? So this is something that we need to understand, one of the four sacred or sites of Buddhism. Now let us see what is this act particularly and why there has been protest and all of that. See, the act establishes a 8-member management committee to oversee the temple. So there is a temple, Bodh Gaya temple, and this is a 8-member management committee. Okay. Now, what you have to understand is, but the district magistrate was made a ex officio chairman. Since the DM historically came from Hindu community, it created perceived Hindu majority in the temple administration. So what happens here is, before how it was, there were 4 Buddhists and 4 Hindus. And the act that was there, it made the local district magistrate and also a ex officio chairman of a committee. And most of the times, this particular chairman was Hindus. So as a district magistrate hailed from majority communities, it translated to be Hindu majority on the committee, something which was resented by the Buddhist body. Ever since then, every Buddhist body have been raising a voice against this autonomy over the Buddhist Bodh Gaya temple, which they call as a Bodh Gaya Mahanirvana. Or so Mahavihara, sorry. I'm so sorry, it is Mahavihara. So Bodh Gaya Mahavihara. Now, when you're studying this particular Buddhism and Jainism, you have something called as Chaityas and Virahas. So these are the places that are there when it comes to Buddhism. So this is called as Mahavihara. Now, to take care of this particular temple, there are 8 people, okay, a committee of 8 people, and 4 were Buddhists and 4 were Hindus. But what happened here is, in this particular act, they came up with district magistrate. Now, district magistrate is going to be an ex officio chairman. This chairman, most of the times, is Hindus. So here you can see the dominance is most of the times by Hindus. And that is the reason a lot of other Buddhist people are now saying that they're trying to raise this voice against this particular, act. This is something that we need to understand over here, right? So Buddhist organization have a long demand full control over the temple, calling it as Bodh Gaya Mahavihara. So hence they are calling it as Bodh Gaya as a Mahavihara. Hence they want the full control over this particular temple. Okay. Now we have to understand a little bit about historical background and all of that, right? So you have to understand historical background of what? Historical background of Buddhism. Okay. Now, see, ancient period, Emperor Ashoka built the original temple at Bodh Gaya in 3rd century, and it remained as a Buddhist religion center until Pala dynasty. In medieval period also you can see that is Bhaktayar Khilji invaded later, led to the decline of Buddhism in India. Okay, and there was a lot of history that we have. In post-independence, that is in 1949, what happened here is a Bihar assembly passed a, you know, this particular BTA Act. Okay, and formalize temple management, transferring control to a new committee instead of single-headed authority. So you do not have a single-headed authority right now. And what they did is they gave all the this thing to. See, I'm not going into history and details here. So, Ashoka built this particular temple, okay, and it was there from Ashoka's time to Pala's time. Later, there was a invasion that was happening, and after that, also what happened here is in 1949, this particular thing was being transferred, and they transferred everything from the Hindu head to a new managing committee, which was having an 8-member committee. Okay, so this is all about it, and the bill that in early 90s, Bihar CM Lalu Prasad Yadav drafted a Bodh Gaya Mahavihara bill aiming to transfer the temple authorities to Buddhist community. The bill prohibited Hindu idol immersion near the temple and the Hindu marriage is inside the premises. So this particular bill that was passed by Lalu Prasad Yadav did not allow any kind of idols inside the temple. And not just that, they did not allow any kind of marriages also to happen inside the temple. So this is what they basically did. Right? Now, what is this particular temple? See, look, this particular temple is also having a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So this is another important thing. So it has got a pyramidal shikara. Okay, and a lot of art. So you can look into this particular temple's art and architecture because they may ask you about this particular temple as well. So it has got umbrella shaped dome that is surrounded by the central temple, right? And it is believed that the tree under which the Buddha got enlightenment was this particular tree, right? So this is some kind of information that you have to have here. Now, next important topic that we have is centrifuge. Okay, getting into good uranium. So we have to understand this particular topic is related to your nuclear power plant or nuclear reaction. See, I've been telling you when it comes to science and technology, there is a topic called radioactivity and nuclear energy. Okay, so hence nuclear energy becomes a very, very important role. And here, why? Because it can be used as a alternative energy as well. Because using nuclear energy, we can generate power, right? So especially uranium is something that we have to understand. Uranium is a radioactive element which gives in a lot of energy. Okay, so the enrichment centrifuge is a device used to extract uranium 235 isotope from a sample natural uranium. See, sometimes natural uranium is not good for using it in the reactor, okay, in the nuclear reactor. So hence what you have to do is you have to get the alternative types of uranium. And to get this alternative types of uranium, we have different processes. And the recent process that we have is a centrifuge process. The enrichment of centrifuge is nothing but it is a device that is going to be used to extract the uranium from the sample of natural uranium. Okay, now it plays a very crucial role in uranium enrichment, which is necessary for nuclear power generation and weapon development. So why is it important? Because we are going to, use this particular uranium for power generation and also to build a nuclear weapon. Okay, it's not that we want to, use this weapon, but yes, we need to be having this kind of weapons. Now, what does this natural uranium consist of? 93.3% of uranium 238 and 0.7% of uranium 235. The nuclear power reactors require uranium fuel that contains 3 to 20% of uranium 325. So this is something that we require, but this is very much less in number. So we need to enrich this. Depending upon the reactor design, nuclear weapon also require uranium 235 and not 238. But naturally, we have this kind of uranium. So we need to enrich this uranium. And this needs to be enriched around 90%. Okay. Now, Iran uranium enriched processor have drawn global attention with thousands of advancement of centrifuge being deployed. The first and both the technology of enriching uranium is in the centrifuge and the device named is centrifugal force. Okay. So who is doing this? It was done basically first by Iran. Okay. Now, Iran Iran's uranium enrichment program has been drawing global attention with thousands of this thing. Now, what is this centrifuge? Centrifuge is a device that separates the substances based on the density using centrifugal force. So, centrifugal force is nothing but, see, I'll tell you an example. If you know how to make butter, okay, or you know how to remove the fat from the milk, what they do here is they put this milk and they try to rotate it very fast. When they try to rotate it very fast, basically what happens here is the two densities that are there in that particular thing that you're putting in that particular machine and rotating it, what happens here is both of them get separated. And when both of them get separated, basically what happens here is you can separate them based on the density. That is basically centrifuge. So it is a device. It is a device named after centrifugal force. It contains a chamber attached to a router. When the router spins, you know, it spins at a very faster rate. The centrifugal force acts on the object inside it, and the denser ones are moved outwards. Okay, so if you take this container, put something and try to spin it, so the denser ones are going to move outer and the less denser ones are going to remain inside itself. Okay, so the amount of the force that is equal to the mass of a molecule, this is not required again. They're not going to ask you this particular formula here. Don't have to worry about this. But yes, this is what they are doing is. It is used extensively in the scientific research, medical applications, nuclear technology. Now, how does this work? Okay, now uranium is converted to a component which is also called as uranium hexafluoride. Very, very important. Please note this. It's called as uranium hexafluoride. So how they do it? They take uranium, they convert it into a component or a compound, which compound, and that compound is called as uranium hexafluoride. Then it is converted to a gas and then it is flowed into centrifuge. So we convert it into uranium hexafluoride, which becomes a gas, or then it is converted into a gaseous form and then we put it in the centrifuge. So here when you put it, which is uranium-238 is slightly more denser than the uranium-235. So which is more denser? Uranium-238 is slightly denser. So when you put it in the centrifuge and spin it around 5,000 revolutions. We are spinning it how much? 5,000 revolutions per minute. Means in 1 minute, this is spinning at a faster rate. This will make all your uranium get collected in the center. Right? Because I told you the one which is denser will go out. The one which is less denser will remain in the center. So hence this will be, remained in the center. So heavier 238 isotope moves outward while the lighter isotope will remain. Okay. Now, what they do is concentrated towards the center. Then gradual enrichment. The uranium-235 friction will be transferred to additional centrifuge and increase the purity further. Again, we will put it. Again, we are going to put it and then we will put it for the multiple stage and the sample will become more enriched. Okay. The spinning part is made up of some light yet strong material that allows the disintegration during the extreme motions as well. Okay. You can use it like this. Now, what you have to do here is over multiple separation stages, uranium enrichment will be done and we will get the desired uranium. Now, what are the key components of this particular centrifuge? See, if you are having a centrifuge, a spinning component that creates a centrifugal force, there will be a chamber that will hold the uranium gas from separation. Okay, typically made up of carbon fibers and other lightweight yet strong material to withstand high speeds. So what are we using? We are using carbon fibers so that, high speed can be withholded. So there is a router and there is, you can say rotor actually, not router, rotor. Okay, this is going to, spinning component. So see, I'll tell you another thing. How do you make buttermilk? You can make it in the mixer grinder as well. So if you've seen what happens here is there will be butter. If you put curd and water and then try to put it in the mixer grinder, there will be that motor that will make it rotate. So similarly here in the centrifuge also, the one which makes spinning or the one which rotates is the rotor, and then in which you put the uranium is going to be a chamber which is going to hold the uranium, natural uranium that we have, and then it starts rotating. How many rotations will be done? It will be 5,000 rotations that will be done per minute. And when you do that, what is going to happen is the two types of uranium are going to get separated, and this is going to be done multiple times so that whatever uranium that you're going to get is the best kind of uranium, or the uranium enrichment has happened to a very high extent, right? So this is the two important topics. Now let us see the questions. Okay, what is the primary purpose of enriching this? Why do we want to do this? And what are the forms of typically used centrifuge during the enrichment process? So which kind of uranium is basically used? So try to answer this, because if you have listened to this particular article, I think you can easily answer this particular questions. Very easy. Try to put your answers in the comment section and I will see you guys in tomorrow's lecture. If you can, try to add some explanation. And if you have any kind of suggestions, please put that also in the comment section. Thank you so much.